Welcome to the Bearcat Coaches Show. I am Graham Simpson here with head women's tennis coach Samantha Allison. Your team last season, 14-9, was the best under your tenure here at Lander. Heading into year 5, what do you expect out of your team this season?
I want us to do better than last year, and we are really hoping to finish the year regionally ranked. That was the vision we had set in August, so we're really hoping that we can pull that out and make it happen.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, your team reached the final of the City Florence tournament. Talk about your weekend there, the type of chemistry that your team gained being in Florence.
Yeah, so going into that weekend, our 2 words were grit and grind. We knew that it's always freezing in Florence,
yes,
as you know, and we knew that with the rain there was going to be a lot of changes, and there were. So I'm really glad that the team was able to do those 2 things, to grit and grind, and I think that brought them together. It was hard to lose to Newberry twice in a row at Florence, but getting there twice in a row shows that we haven't lost any. This is our culture now. We're going to be in that finals every year. So it was a really good weekend for us. And you have 4 new faces on the team this year for the roster. What are some attributes that they bring to the team? They all want to win, and they work very hard. And I think those are things that I always look for in recruits, and recruits that want to get better. College tennis is not the end game, it's part of the game. And so all 4 of them come to the table wanting to get better and wanting to win as a team. And so very grateful for that, and it does add something to our whole team. So I'm excited for this year. Coach, we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. As you guys cheer on the women's tennis team, you can see their roster and their schedule on LanderBearcats.com. Stay tuned for more of the Bearcat Coaches Show.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
Joining the Bearcat Coaches Show is head men's tennis coach Brett Simpson. Coach, for the 4th year in a row, your team won the City of Florence Championship Invitational. It's a very balanced effort from your team. What do you feel about the start to the season, 3-0?
Yeah, we went there hoping to do exactly that, take it one match at a time. Started off, it was tricky conditions in Florence. It was quite windy the first day, a little bit cold, and then very, very cold Saturday. Don't normally play in those conditions very often, but we battled through it, and we're able to get some good solid wins.
You held every single one of your opponents pointless in the matches. So a tournament, short amount of time, you played 3 matches in 2 days. How much of the maturity level did you see from your players out there?
Yeah, well, day 2 has 2 matches back to back, so you don't play too many times like that. Yeah, I mean, it's good that we got off the court 4-0. We're not playing every match out in these situations. It was like a team tournament, so we only played a 4 till you get a result. So these teams were pretty good. The thing was, we were able to win the matches that we were dominant in, quick enough to where the guys that were having more competitive matches didn't have to finish because we'd already won the team match. So we did a good job of that. If you can win the match and not drag it on unnecessarily, wasting time, and it becomes more physical, and then you're worried about your second match and everyone being fit to play. So, we did a good job of that and taking care of that.
Yeah. This upcoming weekend, you welcome a SAC opponent and a Conference Carolinas opponent, Carson Newman, Lees McRae, coming to town on Saturday. It's the first time we've seen Carson Newman this season. What do you expect from your team heading into that matchup?
Yeah, we got two tough matches. I mean, I would say at least equal to what we played this weekend, or maybe better. We'll see. Carson Newman is a strong SAC team, so yeah, it's a big match for us. Taking that match very seriously. Lees McRae is a much improved team the last couple of years, so they've got some good players as well. So yeah, we're going to have to be on our games and ready to compete.
Coach, we thank you, and Best of luck this weekend, the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We'll be more with the Bearcat Coaches Show after these messages.
Break on the Lake offers a menu loaded with a wide range of delicious seafood and steaks, along with an amazing selection of handcrafted cocktails. From appetizers to soups and salads, Break on the Lake's food is served with an intimate space perfect for a cozy meal with family or a quiet date night. Whatever you're here for, you can always count on Break on the Lake for fresh seafood and a warm welcome from their team. Thanks to Sports Break and Break on the Lake, proud sponsors of Bearcat Athletics.
Back to the Bearcat Coaches Show here with head lacrosse coach Tony Lepore. You guys traveled to Mount Olive to begin the season last Saturday, came away with an 11-7 victory on the road. How was it finally getting some competition?
Obviously a lot of fun. You know, we've been practicing for a month and the guys were excited to get going, and you know, tough place to play, so it was a good trip for us.
Grad transfer Kyle DeCrispino had an incredible performance, 6 goals coming against the Trojans in his Bearcat debut. How does that experience help with the Bearcats coming up this season?
It was actually a pretty cool backstory here. So when Kyle last year, when he was a senior at Mount St. Mary's, they opened up their season on the road at Navy and pulled off a big upset win. And he and I were talking about that experience like in the weeks leading up to this game. So you know, it was pretty cool, and obviously you know, he had a great game for us. And but I really kind of thought it was pretty neat that there was a kind of a cool backstory there, you know, with his past experience.
Speaking of goal scorers, James Lynn joined the scoring party. He made an incredible scoop on a ground ball in the defensive end, managed to break away from numerous Trojans, and then rumbled his way down the field before firing a missile of a shot. What was the response of the bench after that extremely cool goal late in the third quarter?
I mean, that was one of the biggest juice goals I think I've ever seen in person. We could have easily gotten a bench foul because our whole team just went bananas and kind of ran on the field a little bit too. But it was an incredible individual effort, and unfortunately you can't really see it on the webcast. You can a little bit, but that ground ball he picked up on the sideline right there and beating you know, two defenders, that was just a remarkable play in itself. And yeah, he's a reigning conference defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
He's a confident player. He just went down and made a play, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we can't forget to talk about Reese Peterson making his first career start, played all 60 minutes, made 21 saves. How was it seeing him step up to begin the year on the road?
It was really cool, and especially in the fourth quarter, he made 9 saves, and we were on the penalty kill. So he stepped up on the biggest stage at exactly the right time. You know, I thought that he played remarkably well. You know, 21 saves on the road in your first college start is nothing short of amazing. But he's put in the work. You know, he's earned it. He's improved considerably, and we have a great group of goalies who push each other every single day to improve. Yeah,
you'll be back in action this Saturday with a trip to Coker. What are you looking for your team there?
Obviously, another tough road game against a much improved opponent. We anticipate a real battle. You know, I think what we want to do this week is just address our deficiencies, you know, from the Mount Olive game and then really start to prepare for them.
Coach, hopefully we'll be talking about another road win. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck rest of the season, and stay tuned for more of the Bearcat Coaches Show.
Open since 1959, the Dixie Drive-In is home to the Dixie Cheese. A short-order restaurant with a family-friendly atmosphere, the Dixie Drive-In offers comfort foods like burgers, fries, and sweet tea. Located across the street from the Jeff May Complex at 600 Montague Avenue, be sure to plan your post-game meal at the Dixie Drive-In.
The men's basketball team went 1-1 last week after falling 73-68 at Young Harris. The team rebounded with an 82-68 win at USC Aiken to avenge their earlier loss in the season to the Pacers. This week, the team returns to home to face up against Augusta on Wednesday before traveling to the mountains to take on North Georgia on Saturday. Let's hear what Coach Omar Watad had to say about the team as the season winds down.
Back here on the Bearcat Coaches Show with head men's basketball coach Omar Watad. Coach, 1-1 last week, dropped a tough game to Young Harris, and then beat USC Aiken on Saturday. What were your overall thoughts on your team's performance this last week?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We, credit to Young Harris. They played extremely well on Wednesday. I thought we, numerous scouting report errors in the first half, gave up a lot of threes to shooters, didn't help off the guys we're supposed to be helping off of properly, and ultimately they sunk 9 of 14 threes in the first half and had 43 points. We held them to 30 points in the second half, but ultimately too little too late. Then at Aiken, the reciprocal, we got every 50-50 ball. Rush Young Harris, we didn't get any 50-50 balls. To me, that's always a telltale sign of the grit and toughness and focus that you're playing with. And we defended extremely well. We executed well. We played outstanding at Aiken. We really did. And so, overall, it was good to get that away win, but wish we could have got 2.
On Wednesday, Jalen Pugh had 13 points. How does his experience coming from a Division I program in Furman help you guys down the stretch run of conference play?
I don't know if it's so much just the experience from Furman as much as it's his character and his leadership and just who he is as a person. He's constantly he's vocal and he's always kind of the voice in the huddle that you hear from as it pertains to the players, that is, and I think he does a really good job of having the proper energy and really proud of that guy for just being that consummate leader, one of a couple leaders that we have, but that's really what he brings, other than his intellect, shooting ability, and honestly, he does a lot of. Every time when I go back and watch the film and I see him, like, man, this dude, like 7 or 8 good box outs, a bunch of shrinks, getting steals in the gaps, making plays in the gaps, and just doing little things that don't go as noticed in live play. So, yeah.
And on Saturday, Navon Mays and Jared Sherfield both scored over 20. What did you see from them, both on the box score and outside of it, that helped your guys win on Saturday?
Yeah, they both played outstanding. Navon, we kind of played him at the point forward position, did some stuff that Aiken hadn't seen before, and guys executed that really well, and he played well, handled the ball very well, made some plays at the rim, but he also boxed out a bunch, slid defensively, was great in his ball screen protection. On plays where he was supposed to set a screen, he set a screen and tattooed another man's body and did all the things. He rebounded well, obviously, and scored well and made simple plays. Sherfield was lights out. I think 4 for 5 from 3 and maybe 8 of 9 from the field, if I recall correctly. And man, he was phenomenal. And he also boarded and was gritty and guarded. Both those dudes played outstanding across the board.
This Wednesday, you welcome in a nationally ranked Augusta squad, the Horn Arena. You guys held tight with them at their place earlier this season, but couldn't quite finish the deal. What are you guys taking from that last game against them as you guys head into this big matchup on Wednesday evening?
That the talent level and discrepancy is not that big. If there is a gap, then our guys need to be ready to do what they're capable of doing and be ready to play basketball and go punch them in the mouth. We'll be ready to go.
Coach, we're excited to see you guys play on Wednesday evening. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
Thank you.
If you're looking for a place to enjoy good eats and good times, look no further than Sports Break. Great food, friendly service, and a fun atmosphere have been on the menu since 1990. So bring the family by for lunch, stop in to watch a game, or enjoy a late night with friends with some cold drinks while listening to live music at Sports Break.
The women's team lost 2 heartbreakers last week, losing to Young Harris in overtime last Wednesday and losing by 1 point at USC Aiken on Saturday. We caught up with Coach G as the team prepares to host Augusta on Wednesday and travel to take on North Georgia on Saturday.
Back here on the Bearcat Coaches Show, here with head women's basketball coach Stephanie Gelhausen. Coach, you guys had 2 tough losses this last week, but you came back from double digits in both of them. What did that say about your team to maintain the focus, being down that much, and be able to come back and have a chance at the end?
Yeah, this is a group that fights. They're a group that's really learning how to compete, and I'm super proud of them for that. I think the message that we're sending moving forward is we've got to have that fight from the jump. Having been down several games and come back, especially there in that 4-game winning streak, we were able to take the lead, and now we're kind of hitting that wall. So it's just a matter of starting the games with the same intensity.
And you're talking about starting games with the same intensity. Obviously, you're talking about coming back from double digits. It's going to drain you in the fourth quarter and overtime, like we saw against Young Harris. What's the message to your team to be able to come out with that intensity to stay within striking distance?
Yeah, it's just a matter of being present in the current possession, not thinking about the last one, not thinking about the next one. It's how do we value this possession that we're in right now, and really taking pride in it.
Tenaya Gordon on Wednesday showed why she's one of the better players in the conference. She hits a turnaround jumper on the baseline, probably has one of the best mid-ranges in the conference. What have you seen from her in her growth throughout the season that led to that moment on Wednesday afternoon?
Just her confidence. I mean, she's never been afraid to take the shot, but she's really been working on her jumper because it is so tough to guard. Once she's in rhythm, it's really difficult to get her out of it. And her reads. She's a great passer. She really doesn't force anything. I think early in that overtime game, she had an opportunity to pull, and she made a great drop pass to Ty Freeman on the block. So her vision is what allows her to take the high percentage shots and be confident in the finish.
On Saturday, Corey Santora led the way with 17 points, a season high for her. Tied her career high in three-point makes with 5. What did you see from her on Saturday, and what can she take from that going forward the rest of the season?
She just played so feisty. I mean, even on the defensive end, she was really feisty. Pressuring the ball. I think she forced a few turnovers just on the ball handler herself, and it carries over into her offense. She's really been confident down the stretch here in her three-point shooting ability, and I know that her teammates are feeding her the ball as much as they possibly can, and it was a good weekend for her.
So now you guys look ahead. It seems like a while. It's only been about a week and a half since you guys last played at home. But like I said, it feels like a while. How does it feel to finally play in front of the home crowd on Wednesday afternoon?
Oh, it's always nice. It's always nice to play in front of the home crowd. I would have loved to have an overtime game at home or a one-point game at home. You just can't simulate playing at home. So we're excited and ready to take it to them on Wednesday.
And then, hard to believe we only have 6 games left in this season, your first season as a head coach. What has this season been like from you getting accustomed to the role as a head coach, and what's your message to the team as you approach the PBC tournament?
Oh, I mean, we talked all season about trusting the process and growing together, and that's something I've said with the team every single day is we're growing from top to bottom. Myself as a new head coach, the assistants in their roles to players and managers, and I've just been so thankful for this group because I truly believe each day we've grown, we've gotten better, and I'm excited. We're going to take it one game at a time, and Augusta's up next, and man, they're going to be a tough one, but I'll take my team all day, every day.
Coach, we're excited to see you guys on Wednesday. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
The baseball team opened their season losing 2 out of 3 to Erskine this past weekend. Hear what Coach Burke had to say as his team gets ready to host Lincoln Memorial this coming weekend.
We're here with head baseball coach Jason Burke, a 1-2 week against rival Erskine. We talked a little bit after the win on Friday, but if you don't mind just kind of going through your thoughts on how the series went.
Yeah, I mean, there were 3, hard-fought, tight games. We walk them off, they walk us off. We lose 5-2. Obviously we didn't want to lose 2 out of 3 to a rival. But that was a good Erskine team. It was a good quality opponent. I felt like for the most part we stayed in the approach on the offensive and defensive side of the ball that we wanted to. We're trying to preach, toughness and staying in the box and taking your HPPs and, making sure you're in front of the baseball in the infield. And if you got to wear it off the chest, you got to wear it off the chest and, putting your body on the line. And I think anybody that watched those games would say that we did those things. I just think, defensively, we made some miscues at third base in Game 2 and Game 3 that really cost us. And I think offensively we kind of got out of what we were trying to do late in Game 2 and Game 3. I think, instead of grinding out the at-bat and, doing maybe taking the walk instead of, hitting the F7 or F9, we hit the F7 or F9. And, hopefully our guys will grow and learn from it and be better as we go down the stretch.
We talked a little bit about it on Friday after the win, but some heads-up base running from Gary Garrett coming home from second base and some fantastic base running from, well, not base running, but some heads-up signs from Jeff Stanek, the third base coach. If you don't mind just kind of going through there and, of course, taking advantage of maybe a bit of a miscue from Erskine not having their pitcher cover home on a pass ball.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Stanek's a veteran coach. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and he was thinking the same thing that I was thinking, which is a little bit different than what happened, to be honest with you. Wild pitch, strike three. It's going to be the third out of the inning. We expect the catcher to make that throw to first base. We expect the catcher to pop up, try to end that inning by getting Wilder out at third base. On that throw, if it doesn't beat him or if it's in the dirt or something like that, we're going to wind the guy around third base in anticipation of the first baseman kind of sleeping on the play or not making the pick, or the catcher throwing it a little bit errant. What happened is the catcher popped up to throw it, saw Gary coming around third base, and it became a foot race because there was no pitcher there. Even if the pitcher would have been there, honestly, we probably would have still rolled him because we would have anticipated the catcher making the throw. So really, it was one not heads-up play by the pitcher and a very heads-up play by the catcher to come back and try to get Gary. But Gary's obviously extremely fast, and we've been preaching the things I said earlier. We've also been preaching being very aggressive on the bases. Erskine did a decent job with their times to the plate this weekend, but I'd anticipate us stealing a lot more bases this year than we probably ever have.
And with that, a lot of small ball, a lot more bunts put down. Is that something that coming into this year you wanted to implement more, or was it just kind of taking advantage of the players that you're currently rolling out there right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we wanted to add to what we could do, add to our arsenal. We practice bunting on a daily basis now. Our guys are very comfortable doing it. I wish we would have got some of those down fair. We missed foul a lot, but if you're going to miss, we'd rather miss there than back to the pitcher and be an easy out. So I thought they missed where they were supposed to miss for the most part. And our guys have really bought into it. To us, it can bump their batting average up tremendously if they can lay down a couple of bunts here and there. And, it's going to change the way the defense plays you. It's the one rare occasion where you hope the scouting report did get sent out. I hope Erskine sends it out to everybody, and everybody's like, oh, crap, they're going to bunt a ton, and they bring their infielders in, and it opens up more holes for us to hit.
On the defensive end, the outfield with some fantastic assists. Is there anything new that you guys have been working on? Because the arms have just look very strong out there, mowing down runners who are trying to stretch doubles into triples and triple into what they thought might have been an inside-the-park home run.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Coach Buckley and Coach Stanek have both done a phenomenal job with coaching up our infielders and outfielders on the cuts and relay plays. We've been trying to do some things to mix it up. We do a finisher every day at the end of practice, inter-squad, whatever. We're making them do something very hard defensively to finish the day, to kind of earn their way out of practice. They've got to stay until they finish it. And that may be 27 consecutive outs. It may be, clean cut throws to each base. Today it's going to be a pick series. And, we've been challenging them when they're tired and, mentally drained to still be able to do things like that. So obviously we won that one game at the end with the walk-off. It would have been nice to have won both of those, obviously. But especially with the way we've been practicing with these finishers, I expected to win both those games late, to be honest with you. And that all kind of stemmed from last year. We lost a lot of leads last year that I didn't feel like we should have lost in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And my coaching staff and I were just getting together trying to figure out a way to combat that.
A lot of new faces, whether it's on the offensive or even the pitching side, and a couple guys making their first appearance in many years, one of them being Jackson Bryant. I think he threw 2/3 of an inning, got a strikeout. What was it like seeing him and a couple other guys, finally make their return off of, a couple of years of injuries? Yeah, I mean, for JB, he's been here since 2020, the COVID year, and that was the year that he was healthy. Had an unfortunate off-the-field injury that sidelined him ever since then. He's only thrown one inning since then, and he wasn't healthy the one inning he threw then. That was the first time he's been healthy since then. And, I texted him later that night and, basically just told him, obviously I was disappointed that we lost. And I think my exact words were I was pissed off that we lost. But I said to him how proud of him I was. And I said, man, put a huge smile on my face, and I thought it was a huge energy boost for the team. He just texted me back and said, almost came up and said something to you about putting me in, even though maybe I'm not 100% ready yet, because he thought that if he could put up a 0, it would give the guys enough energy and enough want to win the game. Something cool like that, seeing somebody who really hasn't been healthy in 3 years come out and do that was something special. And obviously, just before we let you go, 3-game series against Lincoln Memorial. How do you guys look to respond, after the 1-2 against Erskine, a team that you swept last year when they actually came to Dolney Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, we've already started doing some research on Lincoln. Obviously, it's only 2 days after the Erskine series. But to us, it's about learning your opponent, and it's about trying to take advantage of what you can take advantage of from them. And they're going to be a really good team. I mean, I told our players the first 2 weekends out. I said Erskine, might be the best Erskine team we've ever seen. This will be the best Lincoln Memorial team we've ever seen. We've only seen them last year, obviously, but they were tearing almost their entire lineup. I think their pitching will be a little different, but I think they only lost one dude out of their starting lineup last year offensively. So I would assume that they're going to be a much better offensive team than we saw last year. So we better be prepared and better be ready to go. And again, I liked our mindset rolling into the Erskine game. I thought we played the way we wanted to play for most of the innings of the weekend. Hopefully we can clean up the quality at bats a little bit, clean up the defense at third base, and pretty much other than that, do about the same thing that we did.
Thank you very much, Coach. Of course, Lander Baseball back here at Dolney Stadium starting a 3-game series on Friday. Stay tuned for more of the Lander Coaches Show.
Break on the Lake offers a menu loaded with a wide range of delicious seafood and steaks, along with an amazing selection of handcrafted cocktails. From appetizers to soups and salads, Break on the Lake's food is served with an intimate space perfect for a cozy meal with family or a quiet date night. Whatever you're here for, you can always count on Break on the Lake for fresh seafood and a warm welcome from their team. Thanks to Sports Break and Break on the Lake, proud sponsors of Bearcat Athletics.
The softball team finished 2-3, playing some very tough competition at the Gulf Shores Invitational this past weekend. The Bearcats are back in action this weekend as they host the Brianna Sorrento Kickoff Classic Friday and Saturday. We caught up with Coach Crawford to get his thoughts on the team and this coming weekend.
I'm here with Coach Crawford. Coach, this past weekend you got the season kicked off with a tough schedule, but you came away with 2 wins. What were some positives you saw from your team as they kicked off the season?
Well, yeah, it was a great weekend in the form of the competition that we played was tough. We got to see a lot of good things. We got some freshman pitcher come in and throw against AUM, against some powerhouse teams, and just show her poise, and what she did was pretty cool. And we got to see a lot of our freshmen and newcomers come in and pitch well. First game threw a 1-hitter, which was really good. We had a good outing against Montevallo, which was really good. So our pitchers came in to see how they would do. Got to see where we're at, and we battled three teams. St. Leo was a regional team last year, so we battled them, and just a couple mistakes cost us there at the end. But and then the other two is they're just good top teams, and we just got to come out, find a way to battle even harder and come out with them. But I thought leaving there, like I told the players, I said there's nothing that we're going to see the rest of the season that we haven't seen already. So we should be prepared, and that's what I wanted to go down there for, is to prepare ourselves for the long season that we have and the tough season that we have.
And now you get to turn around, be at home this weekend for the Brianna Sorrento Kickoff Classic. How's it going to feel being back home, getting to play in another tournament, but playing some local teams that you know pretty well?
Well, first of all, what a great tournament it is for the remembrance of Bree Sorrento, and her family coming in. So pray that the rain holds off and that we can get it in. That'd be great. But coming back home, we don't have to travel. We can sleep in our own bed, so that's good. Be well rested. And then to see the teams we got coming in, once again, are teams that we're going to see throughout the season. So once again, preparing ourselves for the season. You got Erskine coming in, Limestone and Claflin all coming in and playing. And so hopefully we can through the week we can address the issues that we had over the weekend and get ready and get sharpened for this weekend.
Okay, thanks, Coach, and good luck this weekend. We'll be out here cheering you on.
Thank you.
Open since 1959, the Dixie Drive-In is home to the Dixie Cheese. A short-order restaurant with a family-friendly atmosphere, the Dixie Drive-In offers comfort foods like burgers, fries, and sweet tea. Located across the street from the Jeff May Complex at 600 Montague Avenue, be sure to plan your post-game meal at the Dixie Drive-In.
Back with our final guest of the Bearcat Coaches Show, head wrestling coach R.C. LaHaye. Seems like every time we talk, it's about a big win, the most recent at Newberry on their home mat. I mean, before we talk about what happened, What was the atmosphere like just to wrestle in that type of environment?
Well, it was exciting. You know, they had a good crowd, and we knew they would going into it, and our guys really rose to the occasion.
There was also a lot of Lander students there.
Yep.
At times it felt like a home match.
Yeah, you know, we travel well. You know, we have a big roster here, and our guys showed up, and I could argue they were every bit as loud as the Newberry crowd.
You bookended with some pins. It started with James Joplin and then Juan Edmund Holmes. How did Joplin's pin help set the stage for the rest of the match?
Well, he's a firecracker. You know, he's dangerous, and he gets out there and he gets us started, and the rest of our guys feed off that, and that creates, you know, some momentum, which is really important in these big dual meets.
Outside of the usual suspects, you also got a big win at 157 from Gage Bernal. You turned things around, the notch up in the third period. You got a reversal and a 4-point near fall. How did that help the team?
It helped a bunch. You know, they had 2 returning All-Americans, and we beat them both. You know, Bernal beat a returning All-American, and so did Logan Hall. So that was great for both our guys to, you know, get wins over returning All-Americans.
Speaking of Logan Hall, he has set the program record for most wins in a season, which is now 28 and counting with his win in Newberry. How has that consistency helped the team this season?
It's helped a lot. You know, having a guy that's reliable like that, and he doesn't blow a lot of guys out of the water, but he just knows how to win, and that's something you really can't teach.
Arguably the biggest match of the season against number 18 UNC Pembroke to conclude the regular season here at Finest Horn Arena. They have 3 nationally ranked wrestlers, including number 1 at 125. This match will also determine the SAC championship. A lot riding on this one. How are you and the guys feeling heading into Thursday?
We feel good. We feel good. We feel confident. You know, we've wrestled a brutal schedule so far.
Yeah.
You know, I think in the top 25 teams, we've wrestled 10 to 15 schools already. So we're ready. Our guys are healthy, and we're ready to fire.
Yeah. I would tell everybody to come out to Finest Horn, but I think they already are. There'll be a great atmosphere as nationally ranked teams wrestling on the mat. Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
And good luck this weekend. Thank you guys for watching this week's edition of the Bearcat Coaches Show.